the choir was really the last thing to go on. It was never kind of planned to be like that. It's just the way things grow in the studio sometimes. That track does suit a gospel choir because it's got a very kind of hymn-like structure in a lot of ways. There's a lot of verses and a refrain and a chorus, and it's that kind of plaintive calling to be strong, and that's what gospel choirs are synonymous with. I think you can only use a gospel choir once in your career, otherwise you turn into Sting.
I think you are a cinephile maybe, because for instance in Charmless Man, who got the idea to invite Jean-Marc Barr, which also stars in the video and also...
I suppose, I mean, my other job is making films, composing film scores. So I suppose, I've always been interested in cinema, and I've always thought, that's kind of where when my hair falls out, it's what I do for a living. And I do it a lot more now. Now I've got a kid as well. I don't like leaving home as much. But they managed to drag me out to come to Rio.
How much do you participate in the creation of the videos?
Sometimes a lot. Something like a video like Song 2 was entirely our own thing, entirely. But then again, something like Coffee and TV, we had very little to do except that we said, yes, you can make a video about a milk carton, which is kind of part of, quite a big bit of it, really. And the last video we've done, I don't know if you've seen it, is really interesting. We did it with a guy called Thomas Vinterberg who did Film Festen, and he basically filmed us asleep, so the video is just us asleep. It's really interesting. Well, I mean, it's not interesting, it's kind of it's very well for people. If you're a Blur fan, to see someone you know very well asleep must be quite interesting, I think, in their own bed.
Yes. Like Dogma, according to Dogma.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's part of Dogma, isn't he? Yeah. I was so tired on the night that they did it with me. I fell asleep in the bath, and they had to carry me into bed. And at one point, the cameraman fell over me in the night, and I didn't wake up. So I really was asleep.
Kind of a gentle reminder.
Song 2, that when you wrote it the first time, you didn't even want to release it.
Well, it's just very well known, isn't it? It's one of the most well-known tunes of the 90s, I suppose, now. Which is nice, it's nice to have that, and but I wouldn't know how to do it again, because I really didn't think about it in the first place, It's not it was a fluke, as we say. Any games tomorrow?